Suresh Mani from NMIMS Bangalore, and wonderful being here with you during these tough times.
That's
Learning
nice.
times.
Visit
More
Dr.
than tough
Saili
times
Dandan.
I'm
Dr.
Simon. How are you?
I'm good, Parthuji. I'm good. Thank you so very much.
These are not the tough times. Quick note on these are not the tough times. These are learning times, you know. The
Yes,
nature
it's a
has
good
opened
time
up.
to prepare yourself.
Yeah, this is
For
a
education
zero
industry,
term
it's
created by
definitely
nature.
a good time.
I
For
think
education
faculty.
industry, it's definitely a very good time. Hi, good evening. I'm Dr. Neha Sharma. I'm from Shanti Business School, Ahmedabad. Great to be with you all.
Welcome.
Hello everyone, this is Shiv Tripathi. I am not visible currently because of the limit in the space. I am from Chandigarh University and
Very
great
nice.
to be with you all.
Thank you
Great,
so
great.
Welcome.
Shiva, I suggest you cut my picture down for a while. Let all the attendees come in. Me and you will stay in the background for a while. We'll be on audio. Then let us cut 2 frames so that it will be convenient for 2 other people to come in. Shiv, we can see you now.
Yeah, and then again I am going to be in visible mode.
Atish.
So, how is
Professor
each of your
Atish.
cities? How is the situation in each of your cities?
Yeah, situation in cities is quite controlled, and police and then especially the government is taking a lot of effort, not allowing people to come on roads. Social distancing is maintained very well, and I think that will help us in long run if we really follow those rules and the guidelines that have been given. And then the support, especially medicines and grocery and vegetables are on. So life is good, but life is standstill. Everyone is arrested in house. So I think especially kids are facing problem because they can't come on ground now to play. I think that's the main thing. But Pune is, it seems to be very cool and quiet because whatever is the videos I'm receiving since from the morning, those are really giving a very nice feeling of Pune, you know, where you can see that roads are really empty. And then the Pune traffic is very bad. Neha knows it very well. Yeah.
I think we all are sailing in the same
Can
boat.
you click to share your webcam?
Yeah.
Okay, now I've shared my webcam. Yeah.
Hi, Vikas.
All right.
Hello,
Dr.
sir.
Vikas, hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello,
Hello,
everyone.
hello, good afternoon, good afternoon.
My name is Dr. Vikas. I am Executive Director with ITS Education Group in Greater Noida. I'm so happy to see all of you.
Yes.
Welcome, welcome.
So happy.
Great, great,
Vikas.
great.
Thank you so much.
Chris,
Hi.
can you hear us?
Yes, I hope. Yeah, I can hear you all. I'm sorry, I'm not visible. I'm not hiding, but it's I'm on a device with a dysfunctional web camera. I'm Krish Nangegada. I'm from Geetham University, based in Visakhapatnam, in Andhra Pradesh. We have 3 campuses in one in Visakhapatnam, the main one, and then in Bangalore and Hyderabad. I'm the Chief Innovation Officer. I look after innovation education. Even before the COVID-19 onset, we were discussing a number of initiatives for innovation in education sector. I think this catastrophe is only accelerating the process. I think everyone is thinking along those lines. I'm glad to be here, part of the group. Happy to contribute whatever I can.
Welcome, Krish. Welcome.
Thank you.
I think we have Atish from IFIM. I think one of you can mute your video so that we can add Atish.
One second.
No, I can see you all, and my old colleague and my, I would say, almost like my mentor Suresh Muni, I can see from here. So fantastic.
Hello, Atish. Hello, Atish. I can't see you so far.
I can also see Vikas, Saurav, and Dr. Shaili.
Yes, thank you.
I have muted my video, so Atish would be visible to you also.
Yeah,
Neha is-
if you could just.
That's Laviraj ji. Laviraj ji is Executive Dean at LPO.
Hi
Okay.
everybody. Hi everybody.
Hi.
Hello, Raviraj.
Hi Vikas. Hi everybody. And I look after the Faculty of Technology and Science. I'm the Executive Dean here. And possibly it'll be going to be wonderful time with all of you. I'll be happy to contribute whatever little I know.
Okay, sure.
Atish, you are able to hear everyone, no?
I am able to hear everybody, and I am great that I am I am like Mr. India here.
Many of us are.
India today.
Can we see you? Atish, can we see you? Because if you could just click on the video icon, people can see you.
Video
So
icon.
somebody else.
Video icon, yes.
Yeah, there you are.
Yes.
Now you can see me?
Again,
No,
you went
we saw you for a short while, but went off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you could click it again.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, yeah, we can see you. Yeah. Yes, Atish.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. Good to see you, Atish, after a long time.
Thank you. Same here, sir.
Me and Shiva are out of the frame right now because we have a shortage of frames. There you see Neha Sharma.
I am
Hi.
also available. Shaili Gankar.
We are all there now. I think we can start.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes,
I think audience is full.
We've got 101. So that's the max we can go.
Okay,
Very nice.
okay.
I think we can get started then.
Yes,
Yeah,
Yes.
we can.
that's something to clap
Yes,
about,
yes.
ma'am.
Yes, I think we can start this.
Sure.
This is Dr. Shiva here. Thank you so much for joining this virtual webinar. We wanted to have this considering the situation we are in COVID-19, post-COVID-19. We are really going through a lot of challenges, especially the education industry is really facing a lot of challenges. And also we thought of we'll get together, all of us together, and see that and how we can really find a solutions, considering that the admissions time now, and also like the placement time as well, and also see that and how we can facilitate the classes, online classes and online assignments, how we can engage the students, like continue the business plan for the education sector. I mean, we thought that we'll get all of us together and see that how we can really ideate, and we have got eminent speakers out here. We can share your perspective one by one, so that it'll be good like insights for the audience. We will park the questions at the last, so that anyone would want to ask questions can click on the and icon, so that I can unmute them, they can ask the question. That's one thing we could do. And before that, we thought I'll just share you some insights about GWFM. GWFM is a global workforce management and a chartered body. We are 6 years old. We have 20,000 industry leaders across the globe as members. We have done more than 55 events so far since last 6 years. We've done a lot of events in LPO, a lot of times Gitam, IIM Bangalore, and at SBS. Also, we did a lot of initiatives, especially we're the first one to curate and innovate webinars, hackathon, HR hackathon and WFM hackathon in India first time. And we are the first one to inaugurate and dedicate WFM Professionals Day in the world. And we are the first WFM forum in the world with 20 members as of now. we're going to grow, and we do a lot of. We are a non-profit body, and we've been facilitating between education industry and also the real industry. We want to bring a bridge between and support both the industries together, and want to see that how best that we can help education and also the industry. That is the purpose of this forum, and I would hand it over to Patu, and I'm the founder, Dr. Shiva here. I come with around 25 years of experience in the industry. I have co-founder Patu Ganguly. Patu, you could add on some of the things about GWFM before you could start.
Yeah, as Dr. Laviraj is aware that we've been, working very closely with educational institutions in the last about almost 6 years now. What the intent is to work closely with educational institution and work as a bridge between the corporate sector and the education
academia.
Sector. Yeah. And by virtue of doing this, we've achieved, I would not say a resounding success, but a considerable amount of success in terms of bringing in industry wisdom into academia, which has resulted in a lot of collaborative efforts between universities and organizations. And that's one aspect. And predominantly what the issue here is to slowly raise the levels of employability, because it is a very tough nut to crack. Employability is an extremely tough nut to crack. And though people are extremely keen to work on it, we do not have people who are dedicatedly working towards building employability. So me and Shivu have both put together about close to 60 years of industry interaction that we have had, and post that we have decided to dedicate this forum and us into this area. So that's the reason we are all together here today, and we are talking about what faces the academic sector. The government institutions on one side have a protection, belt of protection around them. But what does the private sector do? So that there are, difficulties that we are going through, and how best we can sort things out, predominantly not derailing the delivery of education. Also, with the market tightening up, how does the academia look at future placement opportunities? Because what we have started hearing is, several organizations, predominantly in the startup area, have started shedding manpower. And that manpower predominantly is the manpower that has been hired in the last couple of months. Last in, first out concept, I think. But as of now, it's a, it's a knee-jerk reaction. So how you all are looking at the future is what we are trying to figure out. And thank you on my behalf and on Shivu's behalf for joining us for this conversation.
Thank you so much for joining us, taking time out, to make yourself, available for this. It's really a pleasure. We have a very big audience. We could not accommodate all of them. We have got around 400 registrations. So, I mean, what we would want to do is, after this session, we're going to make a report and going to publish with them. And if they have any questions, probably, we can take it, offline later. That's what, we want to build a kind of community and help each other.
Okay.
With this, I think we can start the conversation. Let's make it more of conversational discussion, and we can, cover up the areas, what are the challenges which we are going through, what are the challenges might come through, and what are the solutions which we can offer to the education industries, and what do you think that industry should do and what is it, we together can really do is what we look forward to.
Shall we start with Dr. Mani?
Yeah, we can start. I'll be happy to start. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I think, thanks once again for inviting me and all the others. You had given us some discussion points, some discussion elements, and
Yes.
let me try to stick to those discussion points initially before we can get into some of the larger questions. I think the first thing you mentioned was about the strategy. Can we adopt a better strategy now? And when we think of strategy, we always think of a competitive advantage. When we teach business students or MBA students about strategy, we talk about competitive advantage. But if you look at the education sector has been rather staid, rather rigid over the last so many years. And when I say staid and rigid, means it's not been so open to change. The teaching learning process has by and large remained the same, with the face-to-face interaction between the teacher and the taught, between the instructor and the students. I think this COVID-19 crisis has probably given us a big opportunity. In fact, the second day after the lockdown started, I told my colleagues that this is an opportunity in adversity. I think somewhere in your discussion elements, you have said opportunity in disaster. I prefer to use the word opportunity in adversity. Why do I say so? On I think the March 23rd that the lockdown really started, and we were still not completed with our courses for the programs. And at our school in campus in Bangalore, we have 8 different programs. We have the full-time MBA, and we have about 6 undergraduate programs. Whereas the MBA program was by and large more or less finished with about 10% of the classes to go. The undergraduate programs had as many as about 20-25% of the classes to go. So, and what did we do? So, I think within the same day as we got the notification from the government of Karnataka, we decided that this is serious. So, if we have to complete it on time, we must go for online classes. And I think within 2 days, we were able to ramp up and start our online classes. We first started with WebEx, and then we went to Zoom. And then we are doing as many as about 85 to 90 sessions per day. And about in the 3 weeks until about April 11th, we would have done about 1,800 sessions on online basis to the participants, to the students. Now, this was a big change. 3-4 years back, when in a faculty meeting we talked about, and we said we must bring in MOOCs courses in our curriculum. That means blend. When we said blended learning is the future, and we must have MOOCs courses, I think the faculty did not take it so seriously. We were still going along with the same face-to-face, because faculty is comfortable with face-to-face, and the students also are comfortable with the face-to-face form of interaction. But when this happened, when the COVID-19 crisis happened and the lockdown started, I think we all geared up practically overnight. Both the students and the faculty geared up overnight. And believe me, within 2 days, we were up and running and doing the online classes. And I must give them, both the students and the faculty, tremendous appreciation for having done this. So what did it teach us? That during crisis, we can really think of innovating. We talk about innovation in the education sector for some time, but not much of innovation happened. But during these last 2 weeks, a tremendous amount of innovation has happened in terms of the teaching learning process. And I believe that the future is for blended learning. So far it has been the conventional face-to-face interaction, but I'm a very strong believer that the future is blended learning, maybe 50%, 60% online, and the balance face-to-face. How will this help us? In fact, when we took the feedback from the faculty on the classes conducted, I was very surprised to find that some of the faculty said that the participation of students is much better than in the normal face-to-face interaction. And believe me, we always thought that case discussion was not so congenial in an online mode. But some of my faculty said we were able to split the groups, split the students into different groups, ask them to prepare for specific sections of the case, and even give them marks for class participation by a show of hands. And overall, they were so sort of surprised and amazed at the response of the students. So to me, this has been a paradigm change in the teaching learning process that has happened in the last 2 weeks. And I think this would augur well for everyone. And you see, because we must take out the conventional, traditional modes of approach, and then we must keep pace with technology. And today, in fact, when we're teaching MBA also, we are really saying that technology is making a big impact in the rest of the world. No, technology is really making a big impact in the teaching learning process in the education world. But I'll stop with this for the time being so that others can take over, and then maybe I'll contribute later.
Yep.
Because you want to say something?
You know, I'm totally in agreement with what Dr. Moni had said. You know, fortunately, in our case, in our district, Greater Noida, about a week in advance, you know, before the actual lockdown was announced, about a week before that, you know, the colleges by district administration order, the colleges were, you know, kind of shut, and the students were asked to vacate the hostels. So because of that, our faculty member, you know, could actually do this, you know, BCP kind of thing, you know, business continuity plan kind of thing, you know, for 1 week in advance. The faculty members were, you know, testing various platforms. Finally, we decided to use Zoom platform, and the reason was, you know, about 40-50 minutes class, you know, 40 minutes class can be conducted, and the size can be of about 100. And in our case, you know, primarily we are engineering and management institution, engineering program and management program. So class size was about 60, and the class was, you know, easily, I would say, accommodated on the Zoom platform. The response from faculty members have been tremendous. They very, you know, just like Dr. Moni said, they very easily, you know, graduated to this platform. And also in our university, you know, in the State Technical University, we are already using some blended portion, you know, like our university has some programs which are delivered through, you know, various MOOCs platforms. So students are also, you know, in tune, I would say. So the shift from face-to-face physical classes to online classes, you know, has been quite smooth. Students' feedback has been tremendous. And also, you know, using our ERP, we communicated with the parents, you know, body of the students. You know, they are also one important stakeholders. And I'm very happy to share with all the experts here that the parents are also very happy. You know, they can see that the students are at home, but still they are involved right from 9 in the morning to 5 in the evening. They are involved in lectures. They are actually, you know, they have actually converted some portion of their house, you know, into a kind of teaching kind of thing, you know. So they are actively involved, they are learning. So parents are also very happy to see this happening. They are very happy to see that the students are using screen time, but that screen time is actually actual classes are happening. So both the students body as well as parents, I would say they are very happy, and I'm so glad to share that the faculty members have used this opportunity and they have moved from physical platform to the digital platform in a very smooth way. And interestingly, for our industry, higher education industry, I see that the challenge is there, but technology is holding our hands, and we will be able to deliver the, you know, academic part very effectively. I'm quite confident now.
Yeah.
One more point I would like to add before I close my initial thoughts, sir. You know, we also try to decouple the things. Decouple means academic delivery and evaluation. For now, we are not going into the evaluation part. We are only more into delivery of the academic lectures and delivery of the academic content. And what we have decided, if God forbid, if the lockdown period further extends, then maybe we would try to find out a good solution, good digital solution. We have our ERP, which has this online test like facility, but then for semester tests, for pre-university tests and things like that, maybe if the lockdown further continues, then maybe we would try to look at that aspect of evaluation part. But for now, academic delivery, the faculty members, the students are very happy with the platform that we are using, sir. But with this, I finish my initial words.
Great.
Atish,
Hi.
now IFIM is
If you
IFIM 3.0. That's what you you guys are into right now. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So in conjunction with this lockdown, how IFM 3.0 is circumventing lockdown?
See, having been in various institutions, and Suresh Moni sir is here. I was with him at SPJMR. I have been as dean at MICA in Ahmedabad and then at IMT Ghaziabad. Now, when I came to IFIM, I think there is a big change. Big change in the sense, first of all, the location of Bangalore, and then the chairman himself being an IT entrepreneur, a BITS Pilani graduate. I think there was sizable investment made, which was ahead of time. So we had already Impartus lecture capture in place, which means that all our sessions were actually being recorded. We also had with the the laptops in the classrooms, the tabs where the faculty had the option to either use the tab or use the board. Similarly, we had in some of our what you call smaller classrooms those smart boards. So the advantage was that we were on Impartus, we were having our own LMS. All our students are at Facebook at work, and we have an ERP system implemented. So transitioning to online teaching immediately happened. So I think 15th in Karnataka, the classes were suspended by the government order, but we immediately shifted to online, and that was not an issue at all. And even now, all the classes that has happened is recorded. So even if the students have missed, they can go back and watch the classes. So that was the class part. We can do our board work because of the fact that the tabs are there, and majority of the faculty has also the touch screen laptop, which means using the stylus, the board work is possible. And in the Impartus, you can do everything. Like you can do a poll, you can share your screen, you can use the board work. So all those advantages, like a real life classroom, is already there. Okay, so that's first part. Second part, I would say, is the more challenging part is how to keep the the staff and the faculty engaged, because you have to run the institution, you have to have your meetings. The meetings we are actually doing using the Microsoft Teams. So Teams we are using for all our regular meetings. So we had a faculty meeting where more than 50 faculty participated, and it was on Teams, because you can share, you can keep your records, you can record the meeting also. All that is possible in the Teams. As far as our normal operation goes, like scheduling, your payment of vendors, the admission, all that is ERP enabled, so that is not an issue because that is managed through ERP. As far as the admission is concerned, we are doing it again, the external interface, which is with respect to admission, with respect to our alumni interaction, all that we are having through Zoom calls. Similarly, our students right now, the final year students, our internship is in the fag end. They're finishing their internships. So there we are doing a Zoom call with the industry, with our student who is there, and with our faculty mentor. So the Zoom calls is essentially for external stakeholders. The Microsoft Teams is for internal stakeholders. The classes are through LMS and the what you call the Impartus, and the entire operations is managed through ERP. Now we also we did not change our schedule at all. So 6th April onwards, we are going to have our end term exams, which is again on schedule. And somebody was talking about exams over here, and we are going for a very interesting online solution which is already there. So it is metal, whereby the entire what you call exam can be proctored both by the software as well as by our own faculty can reveal it. And the moment you what you call change any browser or anything, it goes off. So it's a very strong software. The government of India uses it. Some of the top schools uses it abroad. So our entire exam has shifted to this online platform. So our admission, our program delivery, our assessment and evaluation, our interaction with the industry, and our alumni interaction, all are used, but different platforms are for various different uses. So if Impartus, LMS, Facebook at Work is for teaching the delivery part, assessment is through Metal, internal meetings through Teams, external meetings through Zoom, and the operation is through ERP. I think there is no effect. As a matter of fact, I think we were already future ready, and that is a huge advantage.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
Great.
Neha, madam,
Absolutely.
you would like to talk about the exam bit that you were saying?
One, I would like to definitely talk about the examination. Like in case of academics delivery, we have more or less done what the others have enumerated here. The difference with us is that we have students coming from almost 17 states of India, and they are coming from very interior parts of those states. So initially we thought that bringing them on to a digital platform is going to be a challenge. And but our students actually geared up for that and held, while we held their hands, they stood up to that challenge. And that only showed us that during difficult times, actually the grit and determination of an individual becomes very high, and it can be channelized in the right direction. So today, with all these digital platform like Zoom and Teams and smartboard, laptop usage, etc., we have completed our syllabus, and from 6th onwards of this month, 6th of April, we are going to have regular examination also, regular assessment. The only difference we have made is that we are right now doing it only for the senior batch who have to then go for their placements. And whatever challenges we are going to encounter there, we would like to correct it when we go in for the examination of our junior batch. So it's this double loop learning basically that we have involved in. But more than that, I would like to talk about our experience in placements and admission. So as soon as the news of lockdown came, our first worry was, because we had already achieved 100% placement, and the joining dates for all the students were already there in our hand. Most of the companies, they had promised that the students can join in after 14th of April once they finish their end term assessment. And then it became a worry for us that whether the students will actually be able to join or not, because it would be a great disappointment for them if on 14th they come to know that the companies are not onboarding them. And therefore, our placement and corporate relation department, it became very, very active. And on Zoom calls, we started having meetings with all the HRs, concerned HRs where the students were placed. And proactively, we started asking them that is there anything that they would like the students to be trained in before they have to join the organization from 14th April to 1st May. And let me tell you, major recruiters like Asian Paints, Deutsche Bank, Berger Paints, they all appreciated this activity that we undertook. And 80% of our employers sent back a curriculum, a training program that they wanted our students to be trained in. Like BFSI gave something, the FMCG sector gave something, the startup companies and IT, they gave a particular thing, and we made sure that all our faculty, they developed that particular curriculum, recorded the online lectures, prepared the PPTs, and they trained our students. And so we made sure that none of the student is going to suffer a setback at the time of joining. And a similar enthused by this and a little demotivated by the notification that came from AICT that students should not be allowed external SIP, we started contacting these faculty, these recruiters again to give us, to suggest topics and areas where students could do a research project for them sitting at home. Let me tell you that about 60% of SIP companies have actually come back suggesting certain topics. And some of them have also suggested that we should take some important challenging areas and we should organize hackathons amongst our students to come up with a solution for the challenges that they are facing. So it has been a great learning in terms of placements of the students. And this crisis has given us an opportunity to come closer to the industry and understand what are the challenges they are facing. Many of them would, I'm very sure, in future be engaged with us for training programs also. Our admission process is going on through our through external interface with the students. It is going on as it was earlier. I'm thankful that the CAT results were declared. So there's no setback in the admission process. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. But we have Sally ma'am and Laviraj sir who manage universities, which means huge numbers of students. So let's take the conversation towards them. But before that, I'll just bring in Saurabh for a short while to get the industry perspective as to how industry is looking at contracting hiring or not decided. What exactly is in the industry's mind is my question to Saurabh.
Thank you, Dr. Shiva. I think it's a critical time for all of us, back in the industry, and I think it is setting the tone. The new normal is what I would say, and we are. I think being a technology organization, we probably were kind of equipped to enable our people to start working from home. And obviously, we still have a portion of people who are not enabled to work from home. But then, probably we've been able to enable, quite a significant portion of our employees per se. When it comes to hiring or when it comes to onboarding new people, I think we have taken a position where we have said that our hiring will not really stop. And much before the lockdown, when we saw the signs of the pandemic impacting a lot of countries, we moved our entire hiring to virtual mode.
Saurabh, we can't hear you well. I think the network is an issue there. Possibly you may need to switch off your video. We may be able to hear you better.
Okay, is this a
now?
little
Can
better?
You please speak? Much
Was
better.
it Monica?
Yeah, is this a little better?
Yes, Partha.
Yeah.
Yes, is this better? I said.
Okay.
Saurabh, it is better. You can go ahead, please. We can hear you well.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, we moved our recruitment process to completely virtual. We have been using tools like Microsoft Teams. We have been using, Skype calls. We've been using telephonic calls, basically to go ahead with the recruitment process. So my recruitment process has not been impacted. In fact, we have been tracking very closely the number of profiles being submitted, the number of selections which are happening, and I think there's no contraction in terms of recruitment. Now, when it comes to onboarding our new people, again, we have gone ahead with our commitment when it came to onboarding people on the specified date. We have enabled a virtual onboarding wherein, I have my HR team with the new joiner, complete the onboarding virtually and enable the person to start working. And of course, open source tools like Microsoft Teams have been a big boost in terms of this entire journey. I think the crux of this entire bit has been the engagement piece, and that's been the way we've been connecting with our people as well as the people who are going to come on board. So that kind of covers the onboarding part. Now, somebody touched upon a very interesting bit on the internships, and I'm really glad that at Capita, we have decided also to go ahead with virtual internship for the students, because the attempt is that nobody should miss out because of a crisis situation. So we are going ahead with virtual internship for students. In fact, I'm going to have a couple of people join my own HR team from an internship perspective. So I think that's been our approach to this entire situation. I think staying connected, staying secure, staying safe has been the motto for all of us. Thank you.
Can we go to Lavraj, sir?
Yeah.
Then we'll come to Sally ma'am as well. Get the university perspective.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Patho, and I've been listening to Atish and Professor Muni and everybody and Dr. Neha. See, we at LPU or at the university level, we have got a completely different ball game. We have 32,000 students studying 250 different programs. So I would not call it complex. I would call it that the diversity is too much and too many. We have students from all 29 different states and maybe 50 countries all across the globe. Now that's an opportunity and that's a challenge also. I'll talk about the opportunity. See, Government of Punjab came up with a notification of closing down the classes, and we closed down the classes on 14th of March. So we got a complete 1 week, and the major challenge, even though we work quite a lot on blended learning or flipped classrooms, or even we have created equivalents to courses on MOOCs. So faculty was ready, but they were a little less prepared, or they were a little shy in preparing their own videos and going online and delivering classes to the students. So what we did during that week, we created a sensitization mechanism. We took up their sessions. We created our own videos for the faculty on how to create the videos, how to create the resources which are shareable, which you can share, because we call this era or this time period wherein the student is in a self-study mode but mentored remotely. Very clearly defined that this is a self-study period. So what we did, we already had our own WhatsApp parallel interface, which is more academic, that you can push a quiz using a poll feature of it. You can push a video during that. You can push a notification there, and you can also interact with the students. We created clusters section wise, and the faculty became the admin to that group. This is working so wonderfully well that the classes are being conducted exactly as per the timetable which is being framed. So the faculty starts the class at 9 o'clock, and all the students, they join in onto their LPU live as it is done maybe on a WhatsApp group or something like that. But now this is a dynamic process. We are also adding a scriber to it so that the feeling of chalk and duster or maybe whiteboard things are being done. But when it comes to engineering and when it comes to numerical kind of courses, we have created scribers, and those scribers are readily available so that you can do the derivation, you can solve a numerical readily. Then we contacted Coursera, Progate, Datacamp, and we could get licenses to the tune of 5,000, 7,000 licenses, open-ended, which were offering 3,800 courses to the students. So what we did, that we equated those courses which are available at these platforms, and we equated their continuous assessment by the grading which they get at those platforms. And now they are doing a certification, so it is good for an industry that they already graduate or they move on to their next level of learning with a certification, and we equate that and honor that certification by equating it to a continuous assessment in a given course. We also did an experiment, because in engineering, when you talk about engineering, you need to go in for lab components. So what we did, we created animated explanations on how to conduct that lab. We also created certain videos on experiments and how to conduct those experiments. We shared the standard operating procedures with the students, and then randomly using Zoom or Google Meet or Microsoft Team or LPU Live even, we are taking their viva voce. So each and every individual student is appearing for a viva voce. Same is being done for the thesis or the dissertation or the capstone projects which the students are doing. In there, they participate in groups, because everything is now associated to the timetable, because that timetable sits on our learning management system or university management system, which is having its own indigenously developed LPU Live. So in lovely, LPU Live is really driving the academic agenda to the best of it. Now I'll talk about the challenge. The challenge is the mindset, because mindset of the people would say in times to come that when the students are not evaluated in a proctored mode, how would you be grading them? See, throughout the world, the best possible mechanisms are non-proctored kind of thing. And now what we are trying to do is we are creating with a third party an application that even if you look here and there from the screen while you are doing an assessment, it actually alerts you that you're not supposed to do that. Forget about the browser. The browser is already screened and sliced. It is popped up as a skin. The entire assessment is popped up as a skin, so you cannot do anything with your system or the laptop. And even if you tilt your head here and there and keep it for a while, it alerts you. Technology has come in handy, and technology has proven its worth. I'll call it as Eklav's model, Eklav's model of learning, wherein you have your own, somebody said grit, you have your own motivation, you have your own enthusiasm to learn, but you are remotely mentored regularly and with the piety needed for the academic processes. We are all geared up, and if God permits, the better learning would happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Sally, madam?
Yes. Yeah. I think everyone has shared their viewpoints and experiences. During this tough time, I think especially the education industry, has learned how to come online, and use the various resources. We were never tuned with these kind of changes, especially the technology. I look at this as a little disruption kind of stuff, which really came to the help and for the faculty members and students. When you teach in class, things becomes very, what we can say is that traditionally the students are physically available in class, but they are somewhere else. And somewhere else is nothing but that they are always either on WhatsApp or the online things, even if the classes are going on. I think here they got fully engaged with the technology, and they got an opportunity to explore the various resources which are available. The era is which we look at it is a information era, and wherein we all are confused with which information, which resources are required to be used. And that was exactly explored during this particular period of time. Faculties, I look at it in a very different way. The mindset, what sir has said right now is really interesting, Laviraj sir. The faculty were always comfortable with playing with their traditional way of teaching, right? Though our board plans, smart learning boards, imparters, ERP, YouTube, Coursera, MOOCs, NPTEL, AICTE support, Swayam is there, Vyas is there. right? We never explored those possibilities. We never thought that these can come to our help and can be done so effectively. So students also got fully engaged, which really helped a lot. And I think including the management education, we have architecture, we have engineering, we have pharmacy, we have agriculture, right, and polytechnic also. So our faculty took a lot of efforts to really reach to the student, because we talk about choice-based learning system, and at the same time we are also ensuring that how we can do the continuous evaluation. So if you look at the formula, what we are using at the university is 40-60. So 40 is the term and examination, and 60 is more of your the continuous assessment or in-class participation. So all these resources really helped us a lot, right? TCS also came with their glass board, and they said that you can utilize it very well. Assignment started very well in plan, right? Students have our faculty have given them open book examination, which remained in cupboards for a long time, but then they said that let's utilize it very well. And then they designed the projects, they designed the assignments where they started working on groups. So students also formed their small groups from the remote areas, and they started working on it. And that really engaged, because when we talk about education, the first priority is engagement of the student. And with the help of technology, this has happened very effectively. And in the whole process, what has happened, that faculty also geared up. Many faculty, because if you look at all the campuses, when we do the A and B analysis, so the C, I'm not talking about C, but then B is the large chunk, which always is in the comfort zone with the help of their teaching, with the help of only PPTs. Here now that became a challenge, and there was no choice for each of them to get ready to really utilize the resources, especially online. That has happened. So assignment checking, examination, online examination, giving feedback on time to the students, vivas, projects, even the lab sessions, and then those SOPs, what sir is talking about, helped a lot to set up the system. And I think now the challenge with the NAC and NBA will be that how you're going to come out with the new things. I'm just saying this in the lighter way, because NAC and NBA, we were always talking about improving the processes. Now we have come to the benchmark where we improved the process. Now what next? I think now maybe in due course of time, or maybe in couple of years, you will find that the world will really come closer to each other, right? In terms of teaching, in terms of webinar, in terms of assignment, and now this collaboration, which every university is expecting, or internationalization, what we all are expecting, will happen very smoothly, because of this particular time of uncertainty which has come, and where we perform very better as an educational institution. So definitely this gave a wonderful insight. It gave us a wonderful introspection also to gear up with such kind of challenges, and faculty fortunately and students also geared up with these kind of setup which has been created by all the universities. Now the challenges are more of admission and the placement, right? Having said this, because academic, yes, we delivered it, because that's our strength of all universities. We are in education, we are in developing contents and writing textbooks and developing student, but now admission and placement will be the great challenge. And second thing is the internship to give, because internships are basically giving them hands-on experience, working with the set of environment where they learn a lot from organizational culture. I think that how we are going to cope up with, I think that will be a big challenge, though we are saying that internship will be on online mode, but how many students will really get an opportunity to work on that, right? And preparing students for writing the research projects, business plans, developing strategies, having that critical thinking process, I think is really a tough time for all of us to develop them to that particular level, because again, number of students, their preparation is also important. So internship and admission, how are we going to deal with that? Because of this, again, the results, graduation results, then 12th examination results, CET examinations at the various state. I think all this is going to delay to start our new admission year. And for that, we all are preparing for it based on again the online meetings with Zoomas and Go Meeting and many of all the platforms which are available. But working because I think though we talk about online facilities, still we need to be together and to have that deliberation continuously. So that particular unique the way of working, what I can say, I think we need to really think on those lines, and that is a major challenge with all the universities. So I think this is what I want to say it from my side. So internship, placement, and admissions now, right? These are the what I can say is the most challenging areas, and for that, all of us and all universities, with the help of all these marketing, especially social media, and then all those digital online, digital marketing tools, we are trying to deal with that. So this is what from my side too.
Thank you so
From
much.
especially DY Patil University, we also have more than 20,000 students, both at the campus at Nerul and Ambi, which is in Talegaon, and we are into medical, architecture, pharmacy, engineering, hotel management, then your the agribusiness management and agriculture. Actually, the agriculture colleges also we have, where we have set up with the Rahuri Krushi Vidyapit. So all this is really requires on ground the understanding, and that's a main challenge which needs to be addressed in true sense. Yeah, thank you so much for allowing me to.
Thank you, ma'am. Great insights, and I'm sure every one of us would pick up the stuff that you talked about making the processes better, and optimization is what we are learning. Probably a little hard way to learn, but we are learning, and we learned it very well, I think.
Very well.
Everybody is giving us the details. It's awesome.
Sure.
It's awesome.
I think India has the Indian mindset is able to quickly cope up with the situations, and that flexibility always helped us to work better. And I think that's the main thing which India has. Yeah.
This has actually come up as a blessings in disguise,
Yes.
Every one of us as teachers have that pragmatic change in our mindset, which was very much needed.
True.
We have a few other speakers who we've not been able to pull in till now. So we're trying to reach out to all of them. In case anybody who's not on the mute wants to come in now, may please come in.
Yeah, please. This is Shiv Tripathi from Chandigarh University.
Thank you, Shiv.
Thank you very much for
I
this.
think someone can mute the video.
Yeah.
Welcome, sir. I think someone could mute the video so that we can see Shiv Tripathi.
Yeah.
I have muted myself.
Okay. Thank you very much. So I think now
I did that as well.
Thank you for giving this wonderful opportunity, and all my learned fellow colleagues who have spoken and shared experiences regarding what's happening currently. As Dr. Sally already mentioned, that India has this. In India, we respond very quickly and we adapt to the changes very quickly. So that's also what I have witnessed in my university. And we also are doing the same thing. So I would not be repeating what my fellow colleagues have shared. Rather, I would like to touch on one or two points. One is when it comes to the impact of this crisis. When I look at in Indian context, I find that the situation is not very challenging so far, because our academic session almost 70% of the curriculum covered. Most of the placement activities already happened, offer letters in place. And it's just going to be examination, declaration of result, and more important, particularly for private sector institution, fee is paid till June. So there is no crisis in managing the financial aspects. So this year we will sail through. I don't know what would be in next couple of months, but that is something what would hold the future for most of the institutions. And when it comes to the impact, we must look into the category of institutions we have. We have premier ones which are rich in human resources, which have invested in systems. They will manage in any situation, even if there are no admission, and which is not going to be case for with them. They will manage admission, they will manage everything, and everything will move on. But there are masses, and masses in two category of institutions. One which are in public sector, they are supported by the government, so they will also not face the heat. There are institutions which have come up with the model of forced excellence, what I call. So the challenge real lies in the model of forced excellence institutions, where the focus is on operations, where the focus is on showing the things, but the ground reality is missing. And I think that this is a learning time for such institution. It will be, if they can manage and change the situation, and they can learn from this crisis, it would be good for everyone. But if not, then these masses which are not managing the systems well, they will suffer most. That's the one. When it comes to the student behavior and the trend on the admission, what we see and how I analyze it, it maybe it's not tested by statistics, but it's just an opinion. There could be trends, changes in the consumer behavior. For example, if today, and I'm not talking only about the education sector, I'm talking about across the sectors. So if the way people travel, the way people go to restaurant, the way people go to the social interactions, there may be changes, and that will drive changes across many industries. How that is going to drive changes in the education, and what are the different skill sets are going to be required, that will drive the changes across the disciplines, across the what we saw, that there were certain disciplines growing in one area or two area. This may be changed in future if the situation persists in this way. So we have to be prepared for that, but still being on the positive side, I hope with all the brains in country, we will come out with good strategy, we will come out with good things. Thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you, Shiv. Thank you so much. Yeah, now I see, you know, one of our industry colleagues here. Monica, how are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you all?
Oh, wonderful. Now, let's take back this discussion onto a person who's handled campus hiring very intimately. And so let's hear Monica's perspective on what she sees as the, you know, impact on the campus hiring in the short term.
Yeah, so thank you so much. I think this is a fabulous place to be in, and I'm really glad to see and hear specifically from all the institutes where we hire from that how are the kind of initiatives they are putting it across. So really glad to hear that. I'm glad that yes, when we are talking about technology, we are actually living by that. So I represent NCR Corporation. That's an technology organization, fintech, and yes, this COVID-19 has really impacted most of the industries in US and UK already. So I'm glad the change what we are adapting right now in the industry is nice in terms of education industry. But the concern which we are facing right now is our financial numbers. We do not have money, so how are we expecting it to go back to the industry to circulate? So it is in a very difficult situation. I'm getting a lot of messages from the students across India, precisely, if I talk it, or maybe in globe as well, that a lot of organizations are deferring the date of hiring. They are canceling the internship program. They do not have anything in place at this point of time. What do they do? And it is really a difficult scenario. So to be very honest, our entire industry is also going through a massive change. I really like that Saurabh
Voice
brought
is
into a
gone.
picture.
It went on hold.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes, yes.
so
Yes, Monica.
all right. So what I'm saying is, I'm happy that Saurabh did brought into the picture about our virtual onboarding programs, the way industry is adapting to the new changes and everything. We are making sure we're trying to send laptops to the people on grounds. We are using a lot of tools. That is there for the people whom we have hired right now. We are trying to work around to find a way out to manage and sustain with them. What about the people whom we need to plan and hire for next year? We do not have any numbers in place. We do not have anything in direction which says that yes, we will have this much bunch of people we will be hiring for 2021, because we cannot predict 2021 at this point of time. It is an evolution we have to live by every day. So my sincere ask is from all the faculties and the representatives of you all, is there a way around, since we gonna take at least a quarter now to come back in an action that yes, we can plan after 6 months where are we going to stand up this coming quarter, from April, say till July, or up till in October. These are the 2 quarters which will have a major planning phase for us. uh, can we modify the academic curriculum? Can we make sure that the time when these people are out in the internship programs, they should be working on their academics in the campuses along with the faculty? They could be able to add different projects, live projects within their on curriculum, which will help them
Yes,
pitch on a
yes.
better job after that. Because I have my doubts, if even any organizations who are supporting on the internship program right now, who are not deferring it currently, will be able to give a fully due justified task or an action to these particular people, to be honest, right? We do not have a bandwidth. We all are sitting virtually. We are not going to office from almost 2 weeks now, and we are predicting that we may have to continue it till May at least, the entire virtual program. If we are not in office, we are meeting people over MS Teams, the new people who are going to come for an internship program. How are we going to justify them? How are we going to train them practically? We understand we have a lot of virtual tools available, and we all are equipped enough, but that connect which is required for these fresh blood when they're going to come to the corporates, they're gonna really shaken up. And we really want that collaboration with the industry as well as the campuses, that how we bridge it and modify the entire curriculum in a manner that we are ready for next year. Second important thing is, like, take an example, even RBI is working around extending the entire financial year till June. Yes, so we have to make sure that we modify our curriculum for this year. That's a need of an hour. Find some way out. My impact is not for the people for 2020. They still gonna get absorbed. They still gonna find a way wherever they are placed already. But 2021 gonna be impacted badly. So how are we going to make sure that they have a better understanding? Are they getting better courses in place? Or after completion of their 4 years of engineering, can we have something by the campuses that they have 6 months or a year project timelines with a collaboration with industry? We are okay. Could be something virtual, but I have my doubts they will have jobs in place. So we have to really take a stand on finding a way around to it. So that's what my request was, precisely to all of you. Wanted to really hear it back from all of you in that case.
Can,
Thank you.
That's a great thing that you mentioned.
Should I respond?
can I?
Okay, so I don't think it is going to be a great challenge for the academia to shift the calendar. There are some schools where internship happen during what we call the autumn period, that is post October, and to shifting the calendar, I think is not a great challenge for the academia. You know, my old colleague, Professor Suresh Moni is also here. I remember in my previous institution, when we shifted the internship calendar to October, you know, it was a great amount of effort that was required to convince the industry to accept our students in October. Okay. Now, I don't think that academia is going to have that challenge. Most of the time it is said that the academia is not very flexible. and it was a great effort to make the industry adjust to our calendar when we did that. Okay, I don't find any challenge in adjusting the calendar. What do you say, Professor Moni?
Yeah,
No challenge.
Moni, sir?
Yeah, I don't. I agree. I endorse what Atish said. I think academia is more than willing to go halfway with industry and change the curriculum. In fact, let me tell you one thing here. In fact, this is coming at a right time for us. We actually wanted to overhaul our MBA program. We wanted to overhaul our MBA program, make it more technology intensive, to make it more suited for industry. And I think this is coming as a blessing in disguise. So if industry wants us to bring in, modify the curriculum, we would be more than happy.
I think now the time has come. I feel like we always talk about live projects, right? So I think we need to change our the complete pedagogy, right? Because at the same time, we always think about that only 2 months and 1 month programs, especially internship and winter project, doesn't make that experienced our students, right? In terms of management, when it comes to engineering, again, it's only the last year, and then maybe second year or third year they get 1 month internship. Now I think the time has come where we need to design the projects which will be doing, the students will be doing continuously in association with the industry. And now I think so maybe visiting on weekends and then doing it virtually in the laboratories, right? So can we come out with such kind of innovative models where students will be engaged throughout the year for gaining the industry internship? Because these challenges are these challenges will remain with all of us. What Monica ji is talking about, or Saurabh also said same thing, that internship, there is a limitation for industry also to take them on board for the summer intern or maybe a winter intern. But now I think faculty has to really come up with the beautiful assignments, live projects, group projects, so that they can go. Or maybe our laboratories which are there in our universities now are required and equipped to give them hands-on experience like an industry inside. So could be factory setting inside the universities, could be the next kind of benchmark which we need to keep it in front of us, right? Because I think Atal Yojana, or maybe HRD Ministry or AICT, they are ready to invest with us, right? So and even the local universities also. So I think if we can really explore these possibilities with industry, having MOUs. Now the MOUs will be more fully functional, where people can. I think we need to now the time. This is a disruption of our thought process, and even to the education industry to now come out of their own the boxes and think beyond the traditional way and online also. So how we are going to do that? I think that we can really work on these areas. This is my submission to all of you.
No, I would like to.
Can I
add here
I think we have tasted the judge like online learning now, and I think we can go much further.
Yes,
Can I add something?
I agree with Professor Moni.
We are missing out a few people. We are missing out a few people. We just left about 20 more minutes. So allow me to try and bring them in. Yeah.
A quick thought on what Monica has said. Can I share? A very quick thought.
Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute.
Sure.
We are looking for Professor Amlan Ray and Dr. Parag Kelkar. Shibu, can you check if they are unmuted?
So this is Krish. Can I chip in?
Hi, yeah, Krish, please.
Yes. Thank you. I'm sorry again that you can't see me. My webcam is not working.
Okay. Should I mute? I'll mute myself.
Sure.
No, his webcam is not working. It's a technical glitch, Dr. Sab. No issues.
See a blank screen there. I'm sorry about that. This is I'm Krish Nangegada. No, Geetam is not my last name. as shown there. GWFM is the institution that I represent. I'm the Chief Innovation Officer of GWFM. We are approximately a 25,000 student body institution spread across 3 campuses, about 10 institutes, engineering, management, we have a medical school, law, pharmacy, and architecture, what have you. This is a 40-year-old traditional university. This has been under a new leadership for the past year and a half, so changes have been happening here, and I was brought in about 7 months ago into a newly created role of Chief Innovation Officer, not a very common title in a university setting. So my charter is that when I stepped in 7 months ago, I made 2 proclamations, rather bold proclamations. One is that we would entirely transform the teaching learning methods, and we would become a paperless university. These were the 2 goals I've been pursuing. This is prior COVID-19. As they say, necessity is the mother of invention. I would like to modify that slightly. Necessity is the mother of innovation. Even though we have been kind of laid back in terms of embracing change, as you know, disruptions have been taking over, sweeping actually across the corporate world, but they are very slow to come to educational institutions. Traditionally, for the past 100 years, I think teaching methods probably have not changed much. But I think someone said there is opportunity in adversity. There is we are going through extraordinary times now, and I think they call for extraordinary moves. I think there is an urgent need to transform education. Unfortunately, it's happening the way it's happening. It's not been happening in a natural progression, but I think we should all take this as an opportunity, which we have at GWFM. We have been in a matter of 2 days, we were able to set up about 300 virtual classrooms. We've had about 1,300 classrooms held in the past 6-7 days or so. So we were almost on the flip of a coin. We were able to move quickly into an online teaching mode. And we have added things like Coursera. We are exploring Coursera, Imparters, and other tools that you've talked about. Examinations, we're looking at multiple tools where we can bring examinations also online. Our admissions, we have our own admissions test. We're going to conduct an admission test also using an online tool. And then we're also a research university. Besides teaching, we also do a considerable amount of research. Our research in the sciences has slowed down because we need physical access to equipment and stuff. But our research in engineering and management has been going on, actually has picked up quite a bit of steam in the last couple of weeks or so. We have put together a team to focus on COVID-19 research solutions to the problems that the entire nation and the globe is facing. So we are doing okay on those aspects. I think we are forced now into becoming a virtual organization for other processes. I think we are doing pretty well over there. I think my concern, as I think one of the panelists mentioned before me, is placements. We probably shouldn't be worried about this current year, but next year, all the businesses have taken a beating, and the stock market, as you can see, is in doldrums. I think by the time the businesses wake up and want to rebuild, there is going to be excess capacity for them in terms of labor. So we should really be worried thinking about placements for next year. And the skills required will also undergo a major transformation. The new business model will dictate new skills to be acquired by students, and I think through which we will be forced to transform our own curricula. We should be prepared for augmenting our traditional curriculum with a lot of skill-based learning. I think that's what we're in for, a change. But as I said, this is an opportunity, and all of us should be thinking about transforming our own businesses, our own models to align with the new reality. And I want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity, and I want to hang up here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Krish. Thank you so much. Sorry for making you wait. Sorry. Apologize for that. Is Parag there? Parag or Professor Amlan Ray? In case you are able to hear me, please respond. Or Shivu, you check these names. If you can unmute them, they'll be able to speak. Krish, are you around?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
So I think by the
Venu, are you there? Sorry, come again.
okay, once you're done, I have a quick question, last question, which I need to ask you to all these
Just
representatives.
be there, Monica. Just be there.
Sure.
I'm trying to get these panelists who are listed, but we have somehow not been able to onboard them till now. We wanted them to. Shivu, just check till such time, Monica, you are saying something.
Both of them are not there. Problem is, okay. You know, like more than 400 have registered, and you know they are not able to join, including Vinita from IIM Kashipur. You know, she's also.
Vinita, can we get her in?
No, difficult now because unless someone leaves, so it will be difficult again.
So I would like to, with your permission, I would like to leave.
No,
can I?
I can exit.
I can also
exit. I've been here for more than an hour. Sure.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Like, go ahead, because you know, it counts the audience. No, it counts the audience, size as well. Okay, I think we can get going. If they join later, we'll add them. Otherwise, let's get going.
Okay. Monica, you were saying something.
Yeah, I just have a last request. I'm really glad with all the modifications and the suggestions which each one of us are working towards. My only last request is precisely on the way of evaluation at the faculties, okay, at the campuses. It is going to be a really important ask from the industry that how are you really going to modify your evaluation program? How are you going to make sure that the kind of an evaluation you're going to give it to us, that will help us analyzing our hiring process going forward, because more or less we are assuming that our hiring process will also be virtual this year. Practically it will not be possible for us like we used to evaluate 1,000 people in one drive and we used to cover all those people in one particular day. When it comes to virtual, it is going to be a much precise number and the kind of students we will be reaching out. So there would be an entire support which will be required from the universities on how we can modify our evaluation process in such a manner that we will have a better qualifying candidates who will meet our requirements, possibly will be appearing for our drives altogether. So it is really important.
Just repeat this once more? Monica, madam, can you repeat this once more?
Sure.
The hiring process, the virtual hiring that you talked about.
Sure, I will cover it up again. That 2021, we are targeting that we may be looking forward to have a more of a virtual hiring process. So we may not be landing up to any of the universities to screen candidates. We will have, in case we used to hire 100 people, we may end up reducing that 100 people to at least 40 or 30 positions. All right. So obviously for 30 or 40 positions, we may be saving our travel cost. We may be saving our time, energies altogether, and we are not so sure when we will be ready to go out in the market as well, right? So considering those facts, we should be looking forward in screening these students, that is 2021 batch, in a manner that we get a better evaluation screening module from your end, that these are the kind of matrices which universities are giving to these particular people. Like, I'll give you an example. If we have technology in a place, so we will get a recommendation that this person is having skill of 1 to 5 for Java, where this person is standing at this point of time for SQL, for C++. This is our rating at this point of time, depending on the examination we have conducted. So we have to be very precise in evaluating those evaluation criteria which you are giving, because we will now work as a partner with you, not as an industry spokesperson, because we would want you to help us identify people that these are the ones we should be looking forward to hire. So I think we will be more honest with you, coming back, sharing the exact job description in a better manner. And we want similar honesty from your end while evaluating these people internally. So that connect is something which is really, really important, which will help us manage our 2021 better. So that's it from me on that.
And
So what we understand is
Partho, I would like
criteria
to
is
add
getting
here.
stiffer.
In fact,
Hello?
Saurabh here. If I could come in on this, I'm
Partho,
sure that I'm just adding to what Monica was saying. I think from an industry perspective, while we are expecting strict scrutiny or skills to be evaluated, I'm sure that the industry will also extend support or extend any kind of help which is required to make sure that we are aligned to look at these assessments, and obviously a leeway would be given for students looking at the academics, looking at the assessments. A holistic approach will be taken. So I think industry also would be absolutely coming up with avenues where that can be accommodated.
I would like to
I
come
would
in
like
here.
to add to
I would
what
like to
Monica,
add.
like what Monica said. What we are doing today only at our campus. Aspiring Minds is holding auto-proctored tests. For the 2021 batch students, because 2020 seems to be in place now. 2021 batch, we are starting with a proctored test, as Atish mentioned about metals. We are going to use that also. So I'm quite confident that the technology is still available for these angles as well. And one more point I would like to add, what Dr. Sally said, that we are using these new, I would say, technologies, new pedagogies, we are using. So maybe time has come that we can request maybe AICT, maybe UGC to look at this angle also, and maybe accept, because right now what UGC accept or what AICT accept, that is more more driven towards physical classroom teaching. So I believe with this new opportunity, maybe we can request those regulatory bodies to look in this direction. So I'm quite confident with this metal, with this self-proctored tests, we'll be able to provide the kind of metrics which is expected by Monica and other such companies. I'm quite confident about that.
I think
Can
in
I
this,
Yes, they can also access the papers. That
Lavraj
is the
sir is
best.
saying something. Lavraj sir.
Yeah, Monica had two observations. One is how to extend or how to change the academic calendar of an institute. And the second observation is that how she'll be able to grab the best of the people, because the number of people are squeezing. Am I right, Monica, in understanding both of your observations?
Yes.
See, the very first thing is that, as Dr. Shaili once said, that whatever MOUs we have signed, now it is time to harness their strength. See, we at LPU, what we have done is, whenever we sign an MOU with a company, we have an agreement with that company that rather than having an internship at their location, the internship happens in the campus on the curricula or on the skill set which they were wanting the students to be ready at their location. So this model works very well, because the moment the student goes out with their curriculum or their expectation being looked after, during their period of study, they are right there on the project. They're not actually sent to the training school and then to the product, or they are not standing. So the time to productivity is completely negated there. That model is to be implemented rigorously. A company will have to come and say that this is the span on which I'm considering this student on internship at campus only, and this is what he has to complete. It can be a shared model of delivery. It can be shared model of assessment, whatever model you use. It can be a physical connected model, or it can be a virtual connected model. But this would give an opportunity rather than changing the academic calendar, as all the other academicians were talking about, is not too grave. It can be done. But we need to come up with a model in which, why they are actually being placed somewhere else on internship, their internship can be there on the campus. We do this with whole lot of people, like we do it for automation anywhere, we do it for informatica, we do it for whole lot of things, So the student, once he graduates or once he moves out, he is directly on projects. And we have got a model of, for engineering, 6 months dedicated and 1 year dedicated internship. We have designed our curriculum like this so that in the 7th term and in the 8th term, they're basically very lightly loaded with some, engineering minors or maybe open electives or something like that. So that model will have to be relooked upon basis the industry's expectation. The second observation is very, very clear, that industry should tell us that n number of people are to be hired. We'll have 3n students profiled based on their skill set, based on their academic performance, based on their general tendency and temperament, and we'll give you 3n. And please do not take this 3n directly for an interview process or ELQ testing or something like that. We already have AMCAT, we already have all these testing platforms evaluating the students. We'll share that profile also with you. So we give you 3n, you select 1.5n, and for those 1.5n, you conduct an interview like this, sitting across. You can spend 20 minutes, 25 minutes with a student, and then you decide your end. See, when we say that there is a paradigmatic change which is happening in the delivery and assessment of the education, you need to look to the paradigmatic change in hiring as well. I'll give you an example. You know what Tesla does is, Tesla's web bots, they move across the globe all the time with 11 or 12 skill sets. They're intelligent web bots, and actually they identify people sitting at various locations. Somebody sitting at Brazil or maybe at Hyderabad. They pick up and they call up a person from there, and they finally offer them an offering on the telephone itself. A sense of faith, a sense of belief in what a LinkedIn profile is talking about. You can very well go and cross-validate with the training and placement officer or training and placement coordinator or the faculty. Would that answer both of your observations, Monica?
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
did. Yes, it did precisely. Yeah, please, Dr. Sally.
Can
Yeah.
I think the feedback what you are expecting from universities or the department has to be now very, very transparent and honest, right? Which will smoothen the complete process, right? So maybe a companies like fintech organization which you have, or MCAT, right? We need to develop the software which can help you to assess student, not only based on the written test examination, right? But now the behavioral point of view, the mindset what the student has. So in short, competencies, right? So I think we need to develop the a complete model which will talk about aptitude, risk-taking ability, innovation, business acumen,
technical skills, right? So that you will have a complete overview of it from the point of view of faculty member, because CVs gives you a huge vocabulary, but at the end of the day, the person cannot understand what the PEST model is, or what BCG is, or what is your XYZ in terms of pharmacy or architecture. So now here, that's what I was coming back to my own statement, that we need to design our assessment pattern within the university, which is so transparent to the third party and can evaluate the student. Oh yes, I want this person, right, with these skills. Could be the design models, could be the prototypes, could be the production, could be the his innovation ideas, maybe working on community projects, has given some very innovative ideas. And that's why the think labs or management labs or the your technical labs are required to be strengthened in the universities, which can help companies to see that how he is performing on the job, right? So maybe the students, you are giving them a project wherein you're again using this. Now this, why I'm talking like this now, this I was not talking earlier. The reason is I never explored the online platform, but last the 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever I'm doing, I can see that I can share my screen, I can see what my student is doing, I can put my CCTV on him, I can see that how project is performed by him, how he's writing his log diary, how is he so are all HR practices are required to be balanced with the university's assessment and the industry assessment. So if this comes on one platform, it will ease out the complete recruitment process of all the industries. So right from incoming behavior to the outgoing behavior of a student has to be mapped by the faculty members, class teachers, subject teachers, program heads, program directors, deans, and then that sheet has to be shared with all of you. And I think that will help you to understand how the student is learning and how he is growing and how he can contribute now to your organization. And then that will ease out. And I think if this we do it meticulously, then your number, if you come with the 25, you will say that no, from Lovely, I would like to hire 100 then. You know, why should I go to other companies or other universities? If DY Patil is doing good with medical, so the medical companies will and the doctors will say that, okay, fine, I would like to go to the DY Patil only, right? Because our lab, which is their simulation lab, where the doctor can see the complete, if you, we have invested 25 CR in medical lab by the visionary leader Vijay Patil, right? And you can see
reality.
Yeah, so they can see that what the earlier speaker, I forgot his name, who was called the innovation chief executive from Geetham University, he was talking about the same. I think we need to evolve the complete process, and now this is the time for all educationists and teachers to come out with these the innovative practices. And if we do that, we will set up a new trend, which in the world then in that case. Yeah.
So
This is what
I'll be
Monica,
honest.
I
Thank
would
you
like to.
Sure,
Monica,
Sorry?
I would like to share my experience with few of our recruiters. For past couple of months, we have been developing certain rubrics. Like you said, that employers need to be honest and meticulous in terms of sharing detailed JD. Very sketchy JD may not work to achieve the end that you were pointing towards. So once a detailed JD is given, and along with that, if we know what are the skills and competencies that the employer is looking at, for every skill and competency required by the employer, we are developing rubrics which says that on what parameters a particular skill is assessed. How do you say that the student possesses the skill? And does he or she qualify every parameter which is required to call him a competent skill bearer? So these we have been developing for our marketing, finance, and HR students. We plan to take it ahead for other specializations also. This kind of development at our end, and if we assess the students on those rubrics and share it with the organization, it would be easier for you to evaluate whether our students fit your requirement or not. The other thing which this particular situation has brought us into a quick change, which perhaps many of the academicians were planning for a long time, to shift from pedagogy to andragogy. Because we are from higher education, we all wanted that adult teaching learning systems should be in place. But Indian education system is so entrenched in direct classroom teaching that in regular time we were finding it difficult to pull ourselves out of adult teaching learning systems and shift to from pedagogy and shift to andragogy. But this sudden disruption has made it mandatory for us. So today, blended classroom, flipped classroom, problem-based learning, project-based learning, in last 3 weeks or so, it has become so much more easier. Case study teaching, a simulation teaching. It's as if we could have done it any time. We just waited for this opportunity to, this crisis to arise. And
Sorry to
once the
interrupt in
student,
between. I'm so sorry. I think because I'm getting messages that the time is overshooting. Precisely, I totally understood. All of our universities are putting 200%. To be very honest, industry is also all set to support in any which ways. The only challenge for us will be the students. Till now,
Very
students are making sure that they are taking the benefit of the entire infrastructure you guys have provided. But tell me truly, how many of them are actually utilizing that? So far I was giving them a flexibility that in one university I was getting people who have done 7 internships during their 4 years curriculum, versus there were universities where they have not even completed 1 or 2 projects. But since our demand was so high, we were still okay to absorb them. But this will not happen going forward. These students have to make sure that how they utilize existing infrastructure in a manner, and how they come and represent it. So whatever activities you guys are doing, it is important from an industry perspective for us to know it, so that it has to be articulated in such forums on a regular basis. So now industry is updated that yes, you are putting efforts, versus we are also 100% available to put whatever efforts are required from our end, because we just have efforts. To be honest, what Laviraj was trying to talk about, the technology piece of it, in case industry is going to that backdrop, we will not have funds to spend on any of the chatbots. We will not have funds to spend on
Very true.
any additional softwares. We will be finding out ways to hire without the technology. Understand, it's going to be a nightmare of working through that dilemma. One way, we are teaching technology for the people altogether, versus we have to find a way where we are not going to spend even a single money to hire these people. So that's gonna be a challenge in the industry for 2021, but I'm sure we have solutions for it. It's just our students need to learn it hard way, and that's where we want all of you to take a step ahead and making sure that our students are aware what's gonna happen next year, and how are they doubling preparing themselves to reach up to that challenging phase, because it is gonna be a challenge for them, not for you. So that was an expectation, and thank you so much. And I've taken a lot of time. Maybe we'll have another session similar to that. Thank you so much, Partho and Shiva.
We should
Thank
do
you.
a session. I think we should do a session, Monica, on collaboration possibilities between the industry and the academia.
Anytime.
Predominantly the agenda that you outlined just now.
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure. Why not?
Anytime.
Why not?
Anytime. Thank you.
There's a lot of
Thank you.
deliberation that needs to be gone through, so that we are finally able to support each other better.
Of course.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you,
That's
gentlemen.
important.
Thank you,
Thank
ladies,
you so
Thank
much,
you.
for
everyone.
joining us.
Thank you,
Thank
Partho.
you.
It's been
Shiva,
great.
Shiva,
I think,
please come in.
Partho, see now, yeah, we will open up a question to the audience. Let's give an opportunity for them to ask questions if they point out on anyone, or let's follow them. Request the audience to just raise your hand. There's a hand icon. Just click on it. I'll be able to see it and allow you unmute so that you could ask question. There's one person by name Dana. Dana, can you hear us? There's a person by name Geeta is asking. Geeta? Geeta, can you hear us? I've unmuted you.
I think there is a problem.
Yeah.
Maybe that's okay. They can send us the questions, and we can again have this kind of platform where we can share those answers or our insights.
Sure. Why not?
Why not? Person Singani D has raised his hand, and I just unmuted. And we have Sridevi. Vanaja Christian is also asking question, trying to ask question. Also, you could type here, there's a window here. You could type if you want to ask any question particularly. I can tell it out to them. Anand Padmanabhan, can you hear us? Sridevi? TV Christie, can you hear us? I think there's some problem from their end. I don't know how they can really unmute. I mean,
hello.
How they can do this.
Are you hearing me? Hello.
Yeah. Who's
I
this?
can hear some voice.
Yeah.
Christy.
Yeah.
This is Christy.
Hi, Christy. Hi. Could you introduce yourself? And
yeah.
Go ahead and show.
Yeah. This is Dean Academic Affairs from Prist University, Tanjavur, Tamil Nadu. There was a mention about the seriousness with which students have been participating in the whole exercise. We have been very, very proactive. We have implemented lots of online schemes and all that. The participation of students, especially our university is set up in a rural area. About 50% of our students have difficulty in getting the required bandwidth and all that, and in participating in such online classes. And I think one should agree, most of our students in the Indian setup are caught up in these kinds of areas. So there has got to be some kind of a solution for these students also. I'd be happy if someone could focus attention onto this particular issue. The inability of most of our students in participating in the online exercises that are happening.
I would like to answer this, generally students are having smartphones, so this issue is not very prominent in this part of the country, at least in NCR and Uttar Pradesh region. But still, we are using our ERP very effectively, and all the I won't say it's absolutely a flipped kind of classroom, but we are sharing the PPTs, we are sharing the assignments, and beforehand. So when a student is actually coming to the lecture, he has gone through the notes, he has gone through the PPTs, so he's little better prepared to attend that online digital class. And also we are sharing good assignments which are more involved in nature. They need to go through books. It's more like open book, difficult assignments, so not the normal assignments which we give. So using these two things, sharing the material beforehand through the ERP, and giving them some very involved kind of exercises, I think that is taking care. And smartphones are quite effective nowadays. So the students are not raising this, and 2G, 3G, these phones are quite effective. So even if they are not getting very live kind of content, but they are able to understand what is discussed, and because of
Recorded
their
version.
participation, they are getting what we are achieving, what we are trying to do through these mediums.
And recording of the sessions, and then they can download
Absolutely.
Yeah,
in
recorded
case
version
they
should
have
have.
missed.
Yeah.
My
Yes.
suggestion is like especially the HRD ministry through UGC has invested huge amount of money in the state universities, wherein they have put up the EMRC labs, right? Education and media centers in every
Research
university.
center.
So research centers, and there they have all these facilities, including the recording of the live sessions, and or maybe
Nice.
pre-recorded sessions. So if you are the affiliated with the local state university, if you can explore that possibility, you can have your faculty, those who are really good, they can
They
prepare
can.
their material. And a best example is you can see it on Swayam or VAS, okay, or
Okay.
NPTEL, right? You just explore, and
Uh,
this is invested by government. You don't need to invest any amount of it. I have done
uh,
70 films with Swayam, okay,
mm,
and
Okay.
that helped me a lot. Let me tell you very honestly. So writing the script, preparing the MCQs, doing the case study, doing the analysis of case study, giving MCQs answers, questions,
mm,
their answers. So the complete half an hour session is recorded along with question bank and the answer. So if you can explore
Okay.
the possibilities, you can engage your student very effectively, right? And government has
That
done
Thank you.
massive investment. NPTEL is one of the best. Then, as I've said, Swayam is good. At the same time, you can refer because Coursera and other, they are costly because student need to pay the amount. So the student, especially for remote areas, they will not be interested to pay the amount, right? So I think you can do it. Or one more suggestion to you: you can have a collaboration with the universities like us, could be DY Patil University or lovely universities, where they
yeah,
have
but,
done this experiments, and you can have that academic collaboration where their
mm,
faculty can deliver the sessions in your remote areas. Gone are the days
mhm.
where we were talking about going and teaching. Now they can sit another way. Anyone can come on the Zoom, or maybe this kind of
His
platform,
problem is,
and you can
Dr.
have
Saili,
a
his problem is
live sessions with the
Connectivity.
faculty.
Connectivity,
Yeah,
actually.
Neha, you are saying something. I'm so sorry.
One point.
he raised a problem of connectivity, not the
Connectivity
No,
is
resources.
no,
the
no.
problem.
That's what
The
I'm
See,
saying.
connectivity
That's what
is a
I'm
can I
saying.
problem.
can I add something? Can I add
That's what
something?
I'm
See,
saying. These CDs are available. Those
Yes.
CDs
that's
can
what
be
my point
downloaded.
is.
You can download that. You can have in your library online sessions a separate section of these CDs, or on machines you can download all those. And before announcing the session plan, you can have a session plan for all those things,
Yeah,
and you can run
very true.
those very comfortably. Right? I
I'll
think
add to what Dr. Shelley is saying, that see, in these times big universities like ours or Dr. Shelley's have got created huge amount of resources, video
of course.
oriented resources for umpteen amount of courses. And
Yes,
those courses, once you say we'll upload it to Google Drive, you
of
download
course.
it from Google Drive. We are not having that copyright kind of thing. Our
Perfect.
faculty, when I see 30,000 students, 250 programs, so if you multiply 30,000 undergoing so many courses, you can have a full course available
On that.
in videos along with the
Yeah,
case studies, or maybe problem statements, or MCQs built in. You give us an opportunity, we'll upload it on the Google Drive, go and use them. You do not have
correct.
to have the connectivity for that. You ask your students that, okay, see, that is what we are doing for the northmost part of the country, wherein right now the connectivity is not available. we
Right.
we
That's
upload it to a Google Drive for a person who has got the connectivity, he downloads it, and people share it among themselves.
perfect. Perfect, sir. Absolutely. This is what precisely I
I'd
wanted
be,
to
I'd
make.
be happy if I could get your contact email IDs. I'd be very happy.
Mine
I
is
think
very
you can
simple.
search on.
LOVI.
Yeah.
You can talk to Parthoji and get the email ID.
Okay.
Anytime.
You can search us on website. We are available on LinkedIn, so you can drop a SMS on that, and immediately we can get connected. Not an issue.
And I'm not
Sure.
LAVIRAJ. I'm LOVIRAJ.
Acha, LOVI. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I think
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think Dr. Amlan and Dr. Venu are there. They haven't been able to speak. So Amlan and Venu, if you can hear me, you can come in.
Hello. On program. Hello.
Amlan, are you there? Venu, are you there?
Hello.
Not that.
So let's, I think, Shibul, I think we are at almost, 6 o'clock now. Okay. If there are any more questions, 2 or 3 more questions, let's take and then round up, I think.
I think we can take 2 more last questions. Let me see that if there's any hand been raised. There's one. Amian Roy, and we have Dana. Vignesh. Ika. Any of you have questions? I've unmuted all of you. You can raise a question.
Are we getting any questions, Shivu?
I have unmuted a few of them who want to ask questions. I think I think what we could do is we will Pato, what we could do is now we will take these questions offline and maybe 1 minute suggestions and then maybe for solutions from each panelist would definitely be.
That's why I asked you. If there are no questions, then we'll go ahead and do it. Yeah, summarize. Summarize.
Let's summarize. Can we have I think each one of you just spend 1 minute time in solutioning, offering solutions, for the education industry. That would be a great learning for us and also for audience.
I think during this the particular period of time, the time has come wherein education industry has to evolve, digitalize with the help of technology, and which can give them a wonderful business model also. So we have to really work on our right from admission processes to the delivery and even to connect with the industries. And each of us, including the citizen of India, everyone has to now learn those digital skills and online skills, so that will ease out complete learning process and it can make a wonderful impact on our performances. So thank you so much for giving such a wonderful opportunity to interact with all of you. Thank you so very much.
Hello, am I audible? Good afternoon.
From my side,
am I audible to all?
Yes,
Yes,
you are.
you are.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Sorry, earlier we could not join. So to summarize in 1 minute, whatever maybe some points will come up from that. So can I go ahead?
Yes, Abhin.
Please do.
Yeah, so few quick points. online education or this learning program has been there in the academic for quite some time, I guess, for last 10 or 12 years. We remember the time during 2008 when Times or New York Economist had in their cover page the stories that there are some disruptive forces which are intervening in academic space and online education is here. And what will
My connectivity is very low. I'm not able to get connected, unfortunately.
Amlan, are you there?
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, are you there? Yeah.
Yes.
Go on.
Right. So the point is that online education was there, blended learning program was already there, but this COVID-19 situation has given us an opportunity wherein we have got the captive audience who do not have any other option. But now same thing goes about the faculty members and academicians also. Now this is the real testing ground we have got, and probably in the first day, at least in the last 10 days or so, we have got very good response from the students as well as senior faculty members earlier who had some apprehension about online education. They have also come forward, and this is a really good practice ground, and probably from here we can come out with a better pedagogies which will evolve over a period of time, and online education will take good chunk of the mainstream education. And that is one thing. Second point, what I want to put across to the panelists as well as the audience, that it is not just the video lectures. So we are having lots of platforms in which we can definitely interact with the students, but online education has got certain other aspects, like say for example, we are having self-learning mode in which participation has been very less all along. So online course, we know the main challenge is when students enroll, after to keep them motivated and complete the course. So that is something we require to keep in mind. So initially, whatever enthusiasm students are showing in the first 7 or 10 days, to keep that enthusiasm intact and continue over a period of time with regular assessment, examination, etc., will be a challenging thing in the time to come. Or 2 semesters. In that case, probably the experiment will be complete and we'll come out with some good lesson as well as our learning will also improve in that. We are running short of time, so I would not like to add anything more. If there is any question, then probably.
Thank you so much, Amlan. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Otto, can we sign off by now?
Any specific points somebody wants to make, and then we will conclude probably.
Yeah, my conclusive remark, Partho, please share the email IDs of all other panelists with me or with others, so that at least we can start connecting with each other. Because by now we have understood the temperament and the mindset of the people around today. So that will be the takeaway, and then we can get connected through LinkedIn or something like that from the panelists, and that will be very fruitful, and it'll have a wonderful collaboration in times to come. Thank you so much for giving me.
Absolutely.
This roundtable has been recorded, so it will be shared with all of you, and also we will transcribe this and share it as a document to all of you. Yeah. So,
thank you so much. Very nice initiative, indeed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay safe, everybody.
Thank you
Stay
very
safe,
much.
everybody.
Thank you very much.
Stay
God
safe,
bless all.
everybody.
Thank you. Shivu, come in.
Bye, Saurabh. Thank you so much. Bye, Neha. Bye, Dr. Lavida.
Bye, Dr.
Bye,
Saili.
See you soon.
God bless you.
Dr. Laviraj, we'll be in touch.
Yeah, sure. We'll be in touch. Come
Yes.
and join the LinkedIn group, and it'll be an honor to have you on board.
Yeah, what is your spelling?
Yes.
Can you just tell me one more time?
LOVIRAJ. You
Okay,
search on Google
They will share it.
LOVI space RAJ, and
RAJ.
rest all is the
We'll
word.
share,
All right.
we'll share the contacts
Very
of
happy.
all of you, and we'll continue the group what we have, and probably
Sure.
we'll help each other and we'll see them how to do it.
Bye,
Thank you.
Bato. It has been so wonderful. Great. Yes.
Thank you so much. Deeply grateful
Thank
to all
you.
of you.
Thank you, Partho. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Shiva. Thanks for organizing this.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
Neha ma'am.
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Virat sir,
Signing
thank you.
off. Signing off, Bato. Bye-bye.
Okay,
I'm
bye.
signing off. Bye.